Where you go? Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence for Just Ask. Today our show is Elder Care Services. Hurry back and join us. Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence for Just Ask. Today our show is Elder Care Services, and our first guest is Phyllis Slater, Elder Care Concierge. Hi, Phyllis.
Hi, good morning.
Glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, thank you. Now, Phyllis, we have you here today, and amongst other guests, to talk about elder services. And by you being the first guest, we want to know, what is an Elder Care Concierge?
Well, concierge itself means that you go to a person that you respect to know what services, what's around, what restaurants to go to. Well, I do that with elder care. I can meet people at any point across a cash register, to their home, to the internet, to the telephone, and I help them to find the care that they need, understand what they need, and to also, for some people, go in and organize their home and their finances.
Okay, now how did you fall into such a position like that?
I had family that was going through some difficulties, and as I was aging, I knew I had to prepare and understand what was out there and what the options are. So I started to do that, and I like helping people.
Okay. Now you have a health condition yourself. What is that?
I have retinitis pigmentosa. I was just diagnosed with it, and I'm losing peripheral vision. And being independent as I am and enjoying to run out and help people, I can no longer drive. Okay. So it really has been a burden, but the exciting part is I'm starting to use the smart bus.
Okay.
And that is getting me where I need to go. I don't have to burden people, and I feel independent, and I love it.
Okay, so when you actually meet with the client, or do you call them clients or prospective elders, what is your introduction when you meet someone?
I first ask them what their issues are. Why did they call me? Why did they need to find out more about me? And are there services that they need right away, or are these things that they're preparing for and there's time to send them to organizations, to service providers? And if I can do that for them, I do. If there's an immediate need, then who I recommend or what I do is totally different.
Okay, so if you get to know the client and they say, well, and you go to their home, and their home is in a disarray, do you actually just clean up their home or help them organize and put things away? How is that done?
Well, the way it sounds when you say that is if, well, guess what, I don't like your place and I'm changing it for you.
Yeah.
But that's not what I mean. There are cases where it is in a mess, and let's say somebody is in a wheelchair now. The furniture has to be changed for them. Things have to be brought down so it's easier for them. They don't need 5 winter coats anymore. There are things in the house that just need to be just rearranged to feel comfortable. They don't have to go out and buy new things, but just enjoy what they already have it slightly different, and sometimes it just puts a warmer atmosphere.
Okay. Now, do you have association with or affiliation with other organizations so that you could be referred out?
I have memberships with the Chronic Illness Coalition, and they have over 25 nonprofit organizations such as your Area Agency on Aging, Alzheimer's, Huntington's Disease, MS Society. I'm also a member of SCAN, which is a marvelous group of service providers for the aging. Anywhere from your assisted living to your in-home care services to your elder attorneys, long-term care insurance. And the American Senior Gazette is another great opportunity for me to continue to learn more about elder care. I also belong to the Entrepreneur Network, the Michigan Professional Women's Network, and a few others that are really great, as well as the Waterford Senior Network.
Okay, that's a lot of networking. Okay.
That's why I can't get there anymore by car. So I really have to be very, I have to decide now where to go, what to do, and how to better do it.
Okay, because I believe this, as long as you're able to be productive, you should be, you know, but then when you do need assistance, don't be afraid to ask, just ask. So that's my motto. But, you know, some people feel like, well, okay, I can't get around very much any longer, so there's no need to try to go to my usual dinner place or my usual social functions. Do you try to encourage your clients to seek other ways to still enjoy themselves if they can't, you know, do the things they used to?
Oh, yes. You know, I can take the 15-mile bus and it gets me through Birmingham, it gets me to the Oakland Mall, it gets me to Somerset Mall, and I can get off and I can get on, and I like to see other people do the same thing. I meet my girlfriend, she can't drive anymore either, and there are always opportunities, and I have some fantastic people there that are willing to take me back and forth, and I like to see other people take advantage of the same thing, stay independent for as long as possible.
So how do you share this knowledge with folks? Do you write a news article in the Gazette, or you just tell them verbally? How do you keep this information going?
Right now I've been telling them verbally, but because my limitations are going to be there, and I don't know if I'll be totally blind, I believe in preparing ahead of time. So one of the things I'm doing is doing a care guide and organizing handbook. So what I say in person, I'll be able to give out. With the support of other groups helping me, I can then give them out and avoid a lot of the talking that I'm doing right now. However, I'm also starting organizing seminars for the physically challenged, which unfortunately I am right now, and the aging. And even to help people prepare for the moving if they have to get into assisted living. I really hate to see everything be at the last minute. I calm the chaos of aging, and that's what my guide is going to be. And it's just referring people to the professionals once they understand which ones they need.
That sounds wonderful. Okay. Okay, well, you sound very helpful in the helping profession, especially when it comes to our elderly, because I think a lot of families always seem to come to the point where mom's lived her time, and, you know, we just want to make her comfortable, and mom, do you want anything to eat? They never think to want to take parents anywhere or spend a whole lot of quality time. Do you actually counsel or talk with the family members to give support to the aging parent?
I do, and I like to work with the aging parent. You know, if they have to move to a facility, their world is changing on them, and there's nothing more scary than the family telling them what they need to do or don't need to do. There's a lot of precious things, even an old raggedy purse, that really means something to them, and they're not ready to let it go. They remember how much it used to cost them and the family stories. Families don't want to hear that. So I get a chance to hear it, or I get a chance to say, what do you really need? If you don't need those 5 winter coats, what do you need? Let's help somebody that really needs it to get the rest. And the families don't want to spend time doing that, or they're not in the same state anymore. And that's where I love helping out and being able to talk to everybody that's involved in that process.
Well, Phyllis, that's some very helpful information, and we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with some more good stuff.
Dad, where are you going?
I'm going to play a little golf.
Why?
Because it's Saturday, and that's the day that Dad plays golf.
Why?
Because I really like golf.
But why?
Well, good question. Because most of the time I just spend the day chasing a little white ball around the course.
Why?
Well, usually it's because I hit the ball into the rock or out of bounds.
Why?
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder why I even took up this game. Maybe I'll cut back a little.
Why?
Well, for starters, maybe I could spend a few more Saturdays doing something with you.
Hey, Dad.
Huh?
When?
Family. Isn't it about time? From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
You okay, Phil? Hi, and welcome back to the second half of the show. For those of you who are just now joining us, we have Elder Care Services. In our second half, we have a new guest, Mr. Ike Engelbaum from the American Senior Gazette. Hi, Ike.
Hi there.
Glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
Good, good. Now, Ike, you're a man of many trades, but we want to start off with a little bit of history about yourself first.
Well, fine. I'm a pharmacist and actually have been involved in the seniors community for now over 30 years. And after selling drugstores, I decided to devote the rest of my life, or a good part of it, because I may still add an additional career, to publishing the American Senior Gazette newspaper, and also do a couple of radio shows. I bill myself as the only walking, talking billboard that reaches the seniors market.
Okay, okay. Tell us a little bit about the radio show.
Well, it's titled The Bright Side of Aging, Health, Wealth, Humor, and Wisdom. I start the show off with that age is a matter of the mind. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And I truly believe that. And I've often said that so many people are happy when there's a new child in the family and you have all this excitement about the child arriving, and each year is counted with such great joy. And as you age, suddenly people are fearful and don't want to give out their age. It makes no sense at all to me.
Okay, so it's the reverse. And when you're a teenager,
Yes.
You can't wait to tell somebody, I'm 18.
Right.
Okay, when you get close to 80, you don't want to say I'm 80. Okay.
You got it.
Okay. I won't discuss it. Okay. Okay, so the bright side of aging
And then I interview different people that have a positive message to deliver to people, to give them some inspiration, so they too can go along with the motto that you cannot help getting older, but you can help getting old. Okay. And I think this is one of the biggest dilemmas that seniors have. They suddenly look at the calendar and they feel they're so old, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. You can do it. And you know, Henry Ford was supposed to have said that if you think if you can, or that you think that you can't, you're right. And the truth is that if you really want to do something, you can do it no matter what your age is.
Okay, that's a good note. Okay, and the American Senior Gazette, tell us about the paper.
Sure, I like to bill it, and I speak a good English. It's the bestest senior newspaper in the whole wide world. My tagline is promoting saging instead of aging, and in it I bring out some of the thoughts that I just expressed, plus I touch on spiritual issues, humor, and also actually get involved with resources that are available. As you know, right now there's a great deal of controversy going on about the prescription drug costs. In the American Senior Gazette, I have a listing of all the various pharmaceutical companies that have a discount program. The wonderful thing about our system, and I hate to say it as a pharmacist, because there's so much debate now, we want to keep monkeying around changing the Medicare laws. Believe it or not, with just some very few changes, our Medicare regulations really cover most senior needs. The trouble is, they don't know that. And my day job, so to speak, via radio and newspaper, is to try to get the message out. We've got the greatest country in the whole world. We've got the greatest resources in the whole world. And yet, so much misinformation is out there, or even worse, there's too much information for a lot of the folks.
So do you have a team of writers that help you put this paper together? Because this is a nice paper, so I know we got to get a shot of this nice paper.
Well, thank you.
And so
yes, we have. I pick nothing but the best, and you are welcome to contribute as well, because I know you are the best.
Okay, thank you.
Phyllis Slater, as well as submits articles. I primarily work with freelance writers that are good in their fields, and I try to cover, just like I mentioned, health, wealth, humor, and wisdom. And also, I'm starting a new section, and I welcome any of the viewers that have been ripped off, so to speak. I want to highlight some of the latest schemes and scams and swindles that a lot of seniors end up having their life savings taken away.
Oh, yeah. Now, what I notice about this paper is the word free. Okay. So
I always joke about that's the four-letter word starting with F that everybody likes to get free.
Okay.
It's free. It's available in all the libraries. It's in all the Farmer Jack's pharmacies, Kroger's. In fact, it's available from any pharmacy. And if anyone is interested, by all means, all they have to do is check with their librarian, and they can direct them to us.
Okay. We definitely have to be a supporter of this paper. This is a nice paper and very informative. And ladies and gentlemen, you know, like I just said, if you can't find the paper, you can call us here at the Just Ask Hotline, and we'll definitely find a location for you to pick up one of these papers, and if need be, probably help you in getting some mail out, so you can mail this out as well.
For free, I might add.
For free. Okay. You can't get any better when it's free. Okay.
Right. And by the way, Marsha, one of the things that I'm looking to do, and I welcome participation from the viewers, is that if they have a personal anecdote that promotes the positive aspects of aging, assuming it's not too long and too bizarre, I'll publish it for free in the paper. How's that?
Okay. Well, you know what? That goes to show you're a great supporter of the care for the elderly, because a lot of people just dismiss, the services as though, well, they'll find it if they really need it, or if the doctor says, then I'll get it. But basically, a lot of the information that's in your paper, I had a chance to glance over the paper, was common sense things. A lot of stuff that we should just automatically know to do or to look for, and somehow along with aging we stop. And the agencies that have been developed, such as Area Agency on Aging and Alzheimer's, do they cover this paper? Do they have?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. In fact, I'm a strong supporter, and likewise, it's reciprocal, as they say. They support our paper as well, because they send me the articles, because they too run into the same problem that I see out there in the community. They've got a lot of great information. They try to make the connection with the seniors. You mentioned the word common sense. I like to quote that the trouble with common sense is that it's not too common. And a lot of times when you're aging, you get so stressed out that, unfortunately, as much as I like to think the positive aspects, when you're under stress, as you well know, you don't think as straight. So I try through the paper and through the radio show, and many times we have a toll-free number listed, and we have a website. We try to work every conceivable way of communicating to bring common sense to our everyday needs.
Okay. Now, what do you think about exercising? Is that a vital point in your paper?
I think my standing line is you move it or lose it. And I'm talking about the mind and the body. And it's inexcusable. Even I know you're involved with physically challenged individuals. I've got sponsors that have these exercise type of units that while you're sitting on a couch, it's the pedal portion of the bike. So you could be pedaling while you're watching TV.
Okay.
And you can put the same unit on a table and you can exercise the upper part of the arm. If nothing else, just walk. There are devices to get you in and out of a chair electronically without a lot of fancy-dancy equipment, just getting up and getting down. I mean, when you're a child, think about it. You can't keep up with a young child, right?
Right.
It's got all that energy going. And why is it so happy? Because it is moving, and then as we age, we move less and less and less. Exercise is absolutely vital.
Well, it seems like there's a growing phenomenon now for a lot of the exercise centers to have classes for senior citizens to have exercise. I know one in particular, the gentleman teaches martial arts to seniors, and he said his youngest client is 60, and his oldest client is like 80-something. I'm like, martial arts? He says, well, you got to keep in mind that this is a physical movement and that it uses all the muscles in the body. And he says his clientele runs between 10 to 20 students every 2 weeks. I'm like, wow, that's got to be nice. You got some place to go, and you are up doing something wonderful.
Right. Well, actually, for martial arts, people forget. You don't necessarily have to be a super sports star to benefit from exercise. There's a group, unfortunately, I forgot their name, that actually have chair exercises. You sit in your chair and you do it as a group, just like one of these hipped-up yoga deals that you got to, like Simmons. And then don't forget, another fun way is via dancing. Do you know that you can get a lot of the benefits, plus you have the camaraderie-ship? There's a lot of fun ways that you can live life, as I like to say, on the bright side of aging.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, Ike, on that note, we're going to go to another commercial break and come back with even more good stuff about elder care services.
My husband was 39 years old. We'd been married 17 years, and he was training for his first marathon run. The day he died, he said in the morning, I've never felt better in my life. We had discussed donation as a family at home with our daughter, and he'd made his wishes very clear. Having discussed organ donation made the decision prompt, easy, immediate. I am eternally grateful that I could carry out his wishes.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Marsha Flores for Just Ask. Our show today is Elder Care Services, and we have Phyllis Slater and Ike Engelbaum. Now, you two know each other pretty much, okay, yes. And care a great deal about the elderly, and, you know, it's a good thing to have you here because a lot of people who are going to see the show are going to be impressed to know that there are caring people such as yourselves out there, and we'll definitely make sure that they can get in contact with you, okay? Do you know of... say, for instance, like the ideal fact that you guys are involved with elder care, is it basically because you're getting older yourselves, or you want to make sure that you're not a burden to your family? Is there a real reason why you both feel like you're into this?
Well, you know, you remind me of my wife. The answer is yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
I had several questions there. I absolutely feel it's vital so that when I get older, that I sort of have in place things that I'm trying to do for other people. And the old adage, and I'm a firm believer of doing something on a positive basis, is that if it's to be, it's up to me. I honestly feel that everybody in the community that really cares about other people can make our overall society that much better. And yes, that's the reason I'm in it.
Okay.
I'm in it because I watched what was happening to family members, and I wanted to know as much as I can. And as I went into the field, I realized that depending on how much care I'm going to need, it's going to run me between $1,500 and $4,000 a month. And that really got me thinking, how in the world am I going to pay for this? I mean, my husband's got a beautiful retirement fund, but if we don't plan now, it's not going to be there for us. And if I have to live at home, which I like to do, people do better at home, it'll cost between $11 and $16 an hour for in-home care. And a lot of services want at least 3 hours per visit. So again, it really is draining. And as I began to learn more and more, I began to look at preparing. And I love to reach families. Where Ike reaches the senior, I like to reach the families because I'd like them to know this ahead of time, prepare, and also have that same feeling for their parent, that what they learn for themselves, they also learn from their parent.
Okay, because it seems like if a person, and not so much that you have to wait till your parents is up in age to want to know what to do or how to do it, but a lot of us don't like to discuss wills, we don't like to discuss, you know, the last rites and testaments of a person, family property. You know, we find excuses. Ma, don't want to talk about that right now. Well, you know that death is inevitable, so why not prepare? Do you both feel as though the family should always come together, regardless to if the parent is aging or not, and make this a discussion so that everything will be understood?
Well, one of the things that I look at is that unfortunately, as we age, our parents don't want to lose their independence, so they tend not to want to talk with the children. The children need to have that knowledge, or at least know where to get it when the parent passes away, which happens to all of us. And preparing ahead of time is so vital. But it is a matter of whether or not the parents are willing to talk to the kids about it. The kids need to know that if something happens, who's going to do the legwork, who's going to do the financial end, and who's going to just be the support because they really don't want to get involved. If they plan for that now, they're not going to be fighting during crisis at each other. They'll know what roles they're going to play and when they're going to play it. And I think it takes some of that chaos out of the aging process.
And I agree with you, Phyllis, because there's no way, whether you have one kid or 10 kids, that one child should be burdened with all the responsibility and the rest of them say, well, Ma lived a good life, Dad, you know, he had fun while he was here. But this one child out of 10 always feel like, I'm going to take care of him, you know, to the end. And that one always seems to go over on the edge because they put a lot in, you know, the emotions and and the true feelings of being the child for the parent, and still allowing the parent to be as independent as possible. And then the rest of the kids is like, I didn't know it was that bad, or I didn't know my brother had that much responsibility on him. I just thought, you know, he was just there for him. But it's more to it than just being in the house. You know, it's a full package.
Absolutely. I mean, you could do an entire program about what happens in the frustrations of caregiving, but I want to make one point, and it ties in with the American Senior Gazette. We have, again for free, a booklet that takes that sort of tension out about putting down all the important information. It's a little booklet like about your personal life. And what I would recommend for many families, because I recently had to do that with my own mom because she's been admitted to an assisted living center. It's worked out well. I suddenly realized how little I knew because they asked me questions that I never even thought of in terms of the bank accounts. So a good way, like you brought out before, of how important it is to get all the information together is just get one of these booklets. They're available many times through the Area Agency on Aging. The American Heart Association has got another free booklet where basically you're asking about your relationships, your stocks and bonds, and also the unfortunate parts of life, about a will and what your medical desires are as you get sick.
Okay.
There's a lot of beautiful books out there, and Ike has some fantastic ones. And the one I'm putting together is more understand what these services are and get to the professional to do it rather than doing it yourself. And together with Ike's book, I think it's fantastic. And as I said, there's a lot of books out there, and it becomes very overwhelming. You end up with more information than you can possibly put together. And when you get some books that are very easy to read, very comfortable, and doesn't require that you remember everything at one time, I think it's great.
Now, do you both do public speaking?
Oh, absolutely. I welcome the opportunity to get in front of a crowd and share, you know, like I feel a lot like now that I know all of the answers, no one's asking me the questions. So the point is that, not to belabor this book thing, but it's a very tough situation to start asking personal information of your parents. Why not combine like a photo album with all of the information, so it takes the whole sting out. Now, where do you have this money put away? Because I can foresee a lot of parents wondering, what the heck, are they trying to get rid of me or something?
Right.
So that
preparation for the departure. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm not ready to go yet.
Right. Well, I want you to know that my actual plan is to live forever, and so far I'm right on track.
Okay.
I thought you'd like to know that.
Okay. That's a good thing.
And I'm working on those organizational seminars or workshops, because I really believe that there's a big crossover between the physically challenged and the seniors. And they really need to understand that life is a lot easier for them and for the caregivers that come in. That there is not a lot of clutter around, that it's easy to find what they're looking for, that if they don't want to get rid of things, they can still box it up, they can label it or put a picture in the front, and they know that nobody's taking anything away from them. That it's something they can always go back to if they need to, but it doesn't have to be around.
Okay. Well, you two have a wealth of information. I definitely have to ask you to come back and see us, okay?
Great.
We're going to continue to do more shows with senior services, so feel free to come back and see us or drop us some information so we can post that, okay? And I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting us.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can't get any better than that. You have two lovely people here today that want to tell you about elder care services, and we will continue segments on elder care services. If you have a question, please feel free to give us a call at the Just Ask hotline, 248-988-0250. And check out our new website. So our website is up and running. Please feel free to give us a check us out at www.justastalkshow.org. That's www.justastalkshow.org. And you can find that in the credit roll as well. You can even find out a little bit about myself and upcoming events and stuff that we'll be working on with Just Ask. You can also just drop us a line on the Just Ask website as well. Well, like I said before, if you'd like to contact any of our guests, give us a call. If you're looking for a future show, drop us a line and tell us what you would like to see. Don't forget, we're having a Disability Magic Makeover. 6 lovely individuals will be selected for a magic makeover. Call us and get some information about it. You may be the lucky one chosen. I'm your host, Marsha Florence, for Just Ask. What do I always say? If you know someone with a disability, don't be afraid to ask. Just ask. I'm your host. Thank you.